So, yes, last night, Gwen sent me an email, or Brandon, with the curbside check-in form that I frankly had started working on months ago, and it kind of got put off, and it finally got finished. So we posted it for people to use as a check-in for when you have to take your pets to the veterinary office and you're not allowed inside, just to make sure that you had a very clear guideline for what you wanted done with your pet while they were there. And so we included the questions that we generally would ask people, any changes in thirst, any changes in urination, any changes in appetite, any changes in diet, what is your pet eating? Do you feel that they're in pain? So we just really kind of spelled everything out and gave you places where you can write things. So it's just a simple free download that you print out, and then you can, circle yes or no on different things and write in descriptions. Gives you a place to put in the medications that they're on, the supplements that they're on. And frankly, whether you're doing curbside or actually going in the office, it's not a bad thing to print out and fill in every time you go to the doctor's office, because 9 times out of 10, you get there. Like when I went to the bank the other day, and it took me all day to finally open a bank account. And then the first thing Brandon said to me when I said, "Hey, we finally got an account," he said, "Did you set up the online banking?" Well, no, I didn't, because I was so excited that I got a bank account open that totally flew out of my head. So, when you're standing in the veterinary office, chit-chatting with the veterinarian, the technician, whoever, you may not remember some of the things that you actually wanted to get checked out while you were there. So it's not a bad idea to have something like this where everything is printed out and you have your questions written down. I used to, metal personalities make me a little bit crazy because they're so organized, but I would really appreciate when somebody, particularly with an animal that has a laundry list of problems, they would come in with everything typed out, and we could go through it one at a time and say, okay, this question, yep, answered. This question, yep, answered. And then that way they don't forget anything, and I make sure that I cover everything. But what happened, so I woke up this morning to 900 emails, because I get an email every time somebody buys something from the website or downloads something from the website. So I was just like, oh my God, it took my phone a while to download everything. So then I went to the Facebook page to look at the comments. There were 188 comments when I looked at it. And it kind of devolved into a huge discussion about whether curbside is good or bad. And berating some veterinarians for not being open. And some people brought up some good points. I mean, it is, for some animals, it is much more difficult to go in without their owners. We saw it, with the animals who literally hit the brakes at the door and just weren't going to come in. So sometimes we actually had to have the owner bring them in, because that was the only way we were getting them in. Some of them, I did their exam out in the parking lot because they wouldn't come in. It's very difficult. And somebody brought up a really good point, and I want to point this one out for those of you who are angry that you cannot go inside. And yep, it's different for every town. It's different for every state. Some of the rules are made by governors, and the businesses are not given a choice. Some of them, it is personal choice for the owner of the business to decide what they want to do, or if they're going to buck the system, if they're in a state where they're told that they have to do curbside. If you're going to a very large practice where they have 50 or 100 employees, if a couple people get sick, it's not the impact that it would be on a small practice. So way back in March of last year, I ended up in one day had 3 people call out. So they all got sick at the same time. We only had a staff of 12. 3 people called out sick. When I let the staff know that 3 people called out sick, 6 more said, I'm not coming to work. It's too dangerous. I don't want to be exposed. Not walking in there. And we were already curbside. But a couple of my staff members had to, this was Monday morning, everybody called out. On Friday, a couple members had brought a family in for a euthanasia. They said it's not fair to not let them be with their pet. While emotionally, I totally agree with that. Now we had a huge problem because we had 3 people out sick on Monday and we had let clients in the building on Friday. So what is my obligation at that point? Is my obligation to call those pet owners and say, hey, you were probably exposed? I don't know. I did know that at that point, my obligation was I had to pay everybody's salary, whether they were at work or not, for a minimum of 2 weeks. That was the mandate. 2 of those employees were out for 3 weeks. One was a doctor. That's a big salary. And I had to pay those salaries even though those people weren't coming to work. My payroll was over $50,000 a month. And I had 3 weeks of paying full payroll without anybody being in the office. That can be financially devastating for a small business. So I understand that it's upsetting not to go in with your pets, but if you're going to a small office and something like that happens, that could be the end of them. So you need to look at it from both sides. And are some pets better without their owners? Yeah, there are some that actually are. Most of them, the owner and the pet are very bonded, and it's better to have them there together. I totally agree with that. And I'm not saying what's right and what's wrong. And, I'm not going to get into the politics of what has gone on with this whole fiasco for the past year. I think the fiasco is a long way from over. So it's really hard. There are some vet clinics, for instance, North Star, huge referral center in New Jersey. For the longest time, they were allowing one owner in with the pet. You couldn't bring your whole family in, but you could have one owner go in with the pet. Then we got an email that said, nope, nobody's allowed in the building. So what happened is they had an outbreak. And it becomes the problem, partly because of the politics of, if somebody gets sick in your building and you've been allowing clients to come in, what's your obligation? Do you have to call every one of those clients and say, ooh, you might have been exposed? Do you have to call all those clients and say, hey, you might have exposed us? It's a mess. It's a mess. So please try to be understanding from both sides of the fence. If you're allowed to go in with your pet, that is awesome. If the veterinary practice is more open space, it's great. Our exam rooms were 6 feet by 8 feet. Pretty hard to stay pretty far away from people in a 6 by 8 foot little tiny room. So it's difficult on both sides, and believe me, the veterinary staff is just as frustrated as you are. They are really frustrated. This curbside thing slows them way down. It is really a complicated process and not really fun. And I'm right there with you. Now I'm the client. I'm not allowed in with my pets. By the way, I canceled Mitten's surgery. He's running around the house acting perfectly normal. So he had a $400 exam and lab work. It's okay. So it's really hard on both sides. So everybody needs to be a little kinder, gentler with all concerned. And the download is just to make life easier for you and for your veterinarian, and to make sure that nothing is missed and that there's no miscommunication or misunderstanding. Because the better we communicate, the better it's going to be for everyone. And maybe it'll make your veterinarian's life a lot easier when they can just go down the checklist and go, okay, well, clearly he's here for vomiting and diarrhea today. This is not the first time it's happened according to this. This is an ongoing, happens every month. This is how it's usually treated. Okay. Yep, they want lab work today. No, they don't want lab work today. Yep, they want radiographs today. They don't want radiographs today. It's just going to make life easier on both sides of the fence until this all, I don't know. I don't even want to begin to predict if or when things are going to change. So, and frankly, what I will say to those of you who are really angry and mad at your veterinarian and staff for whatever decisions they're making, maybe you need a veterinarian that you have a better understanding with. Like, you shouldn't have that much distrust of your veterinarian. Some of you I know are in rural areas and you don't have a lot of choices in where you can go. But I just want to say, you and your veterinarian, you and your physician, you and your kid's pediatrician whoever, you should have a good working relationship. You should have trust in the person that you are dealing with. You should be able to have an open and honest conversation. If that's not the case, then I would look elsewhere. There should be a trust and a bond between you and the caregiver. And if you don't have that, then I don't think you found the person that is right for you. So that's my 2 cents worth, for what it's worth. Everybody have a wonderful day.